Namo Buddhaya. So now we do puja and then followed by meditation and then some Dhamma teaching. So you are all welcome to this Sunday evening program. So we will start with the, and today puja we will dedicate to Siddharth, who is here, whose birthday is on 22nd, but he is not here on that day. So he is offering dana to the Sangha. So we will do puja for his good health. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhiva Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namas Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti piso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddha Vijacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavido Anuttaro Purisadhamma Sarathi Sattha Deva Manussanang Buddha Bhagavate Namo tassa Samma Sambuddhassa Ye cha Buddha Atita cha Acchupanna cha Ye Buddha Aham Vandami Sabbadha Nati me saranang anyang Buddho me saranang varang Etena sadhavajena hotu me jaya mangalang Ottamangena vandehang padapang sovaruttamang Buddheyo kalito doso buddho kamatutang mamang Buddhang yavani bana pariyantang saranang gacchami Swakhato Bhagavata Dhamma Sanditthiko Akaliko Ehipassiko Upanayiko Pacchatang Veditabbo Vinyoiti Namo tassa niyanikassa dhammasa Ye cha dhamma atita cha Ye cha dhamma anagata Paccuppanna cha ye dhamma Aham vandami sabbada Nati me saranang anyang Dhammo me saranang varang Etena sajjavajjena Hotu me jaya mangalang Uttamangena vandehang Dhamman ca dividang varang Dhammeyo kalito doso Dhammo khamatu tang mamang Dhammang yavani bana pariyantang saranam Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyayapatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samechipatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidham chattari purisa yugani Atta purisa puggala Esa bhagavato savaka sangha Ahuneyo pahuneyo Dakhineyo anjali karaneyo Anuttarang punyang ketang lokasati Namo tassatthariya puggala Mahasanghasa Ye ca sanghati taca Ye ca sangha anagata Vachupanna ca ye sang Nati me saranang anyang Sangho me saranang varang Etena sajjavajjena Hotu me jaya mangalang Uttamangena vandehang Sanghan ca dividottamang Sangheyo kalito dosa Sangho khamatu tang mamang Sanghang yavani bana pariyantang saranang gaccha Evam buddhang sarantanang Dhamman sanghan ca bhikkhavo Bhayam vacham vitatthang va Lomahang sonahe sati Ghanasara paditthena Dipena tamadang sina Tilokadipang sambuddhang Pujayami tamunadang Gandha sambharayotena Dopena hang sugandhena Pujaye pujaniyantang Puja bhajanamuttamang Vanagandha gunopetang Etang kusama santating Pujayami munindassa Siripada saroruhe Pujemi buddhang kusumena nena Punyena metena chahotu mukkhang Pupang milayati yatha idhamme Kaya tatha yati vinasavavang Nirodha samapaditva vuttaitva nisinasaviya Bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Imena dipena dhupena puppena pujemi 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 Mangde padho papu papu jadi Nama sakala sambuddhanang Pacheka buddhanang Agasavakanang Mahasavakanang Arahantanang pakati silang Aham pite sang anuvattako homi Imani puppani vennenapi suvannang Gandhenapi sugandhang Santaninapi susantanang pame dhubannang dhugandhang dhusantanang papunisati evameva sabbe sankhara anicca sabbe sankhara dukkha sabbe dhamma anattati imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddham imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya dhammam imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya sangham Vandami cetiyang sabang sabbatane supatithitang saririka dhatu mahabodhing buddharupang sakalam Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa yasamule nisinnova Sabbare vijayangaka Pato sabbanyutang sattva vandetang bodhipadapang Ime ete mahabodhi lokanatena pujitang Aham pete namassami bodhiraja namattute Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Vipatti pativahaya sabba sampatti siddhya Sabba dukkhang vinasaya sabba bhayang vinasaya Sabba rogang vinasaya bhavedhigayukadayakang Sabbalokang Samanta cakkavalesu atra gaccantu devata Sadhammam munirajassa sunantu saggamokkadang Dhamma savana kalo ayam badanta Dhamma savana kalo ayam badanta Dhamma savana Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Karaniyamata kusalena yang tang santang padang abhisamicca Sakho ujuca sojuca suvaco sassamudu anatimani Santo sakoca subharoca apakicco sasallahu kabuti Santindriyoca nipakoca apagavo kuleswananugidho Naca kudang samacare kinci yena vinyo pare upavadeyong Sukhino vakemino hontu sabbe sattha bhavantu sukhitatta Ye kechipana bhutati tasavata varavana vasesa Digavaye mahanta Dittha vaye vadhittha ye cha dure vasanti abhidhure Bhuta vasambhave seva sabbe sattha bhavantu sukhitatta Na paro parang niko beta nyati manyeta kata chinang kanche Vyaro sana patiga sanya Nanya manya sadukhamicchaya Mata yatani amputang Ayusa eka puttamanurakkhe Evam pisa bhabhutesu manasang bhavaye aparimanang metancha sabalokasming manasang bhavaye aparimanang odhang adho chatiriyancha averang asapatang Tithang charang nisinnova sayanova yavatassa vigatamido etang sating adittheya brahmametang viharang idamaho dittin chanupagamma silava dasanena sampanno kameso vinayagedang nahi jato ghabbaseyang punaretete dukkha patachani dukkha bhaya patachani bhaya hontu sabbe pipanino etena sajjavajena sotite hotu sabbada etena sajjavajena sabbadukha vinasato etena sajjavajena sabbavaya vinasato etena sajjavajena sabbaroga vinasato etena sajjavajena hotu te jayamangalang etena sajjavajena patu te ratanantayang sabbetiyo vivajanto sabbarogo vinasato mate bhavatu antarayo sukhi digayuko bhava bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sadha sotti bhavantu te bhavato sabba sabba dhammanubhavena sadha sotti bhavantu te bhavato sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te nakataya kabhutanang papagahanivarana paritasanubhavena hantu te upadhave Deva vasatu kalena sasa sampati hetu cha pito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko yang dhun nimitang abamangalan cha yo cha manapo sakunas Buddhanubhavena vinasaminto Dhammanubhavena vinasaminto Sanghanubhavena vinasaminto Akasata cha bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika Punyantang anumoditva Chirang rakhantu sasanang Chirang rakhantu desanang Chirang rakhantu mang parang Etavata chammehi sambhatang punya sampadang Sabbe deva anumodanto Sabbe bhuta anumodanto Sabbe sattha anumodanto Sabba sampati siddhya Nibbana sampati siddhya Idang me nyatinang hoto Sukhita honto nyatayo Idang me nyatinang hoto Sukhita honto nyatayo Dang me nyatinang hoto sukita honto nyatayo Sabbe buddha balapata pachekanan jayang valang Arahantanan cha tejena rakhang bandhami sabbaso Sabbe dhamma balapata arya sachan jayang valang Dhamma Cakkhupala jena rakhang bandhami sabbaso Vimuttanan jayang balang Sasanassa jena rakhang bandhami sabbaso Kayena vacha cittena pamadena mayang khatang Acayang kamami bhante bodhipanya tathagata Kayena vacha cittena pamadena mayang khatang Acayang kamami dhammo sanditthiko akaliko Kayena vacha cittena pamadena mayang khatang Acayang kamami sanggo anuttarang imena punya kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yavanibana patiya idang me punya kamang asavakayang vahang hoto sabba dukkha pamujjato nibbana sapaccayo hoto sadhu sadhu sadhu.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa buddhang dhammang sanghang namassami. Most respected Buddhapala Thera Banteji, respected Sangha, my dear Anagarikas, Upasakas and Upasikas, metta to you all. Okay, now let us practice meditation. Okay, let us meditation for 20 minutes. Okay. अभी ध्यान करेंगे 20 मिनट सभी लोग अच्छा से बैठो Everybody sit in a comfortable posture. Keep your back and neck straight. Comfortable yourself. Do not sit too tight. Do not sit too loose. And now slowly close your eyes. Feel happy. Feel joyful. Relax in the body. Relax in the mind. Determine yourself. Now I'm going to meditate for a few minutes. Okay, we will meditate on Anapanasati, on breathing, observing the breaths, in breath and out breath, in breath and out breath. Observe all the breaths mentally, peacefully, calmly, patiently. When the breath comes in, know the breath comes in. When the breath goes out, know the breath goes out. In breath and out breath, observe and observe your breaths. If the breath is long, know the breath is long. If the breath is short, know the breath is short. Do not control your breath. Let's flow your natural breath. Simple breath, normal breath, as it comes in, as it goes out. Let it be flow naturally. It may be sometimes long, sometimes short, but our job is observe the natural one, the natural breath. Do not recite as like mantra, in breath and out breath, in breath and out breath. Observe mentally, peacefully, calmly, patiently. In breath as in breath, out breath as out breath. The habits of mind always wander away either in the past or in the future. The past has already gone. The future is not yet come. So both are meaningless. Both are not beneficial. So be with your breath, staying, dwelling in present. That the very past or the future will be either pleasant feeling or unpleasant feeling. Do not hanging out with the feelings of pleasant or unpleasant. Aware whenever wander away and bring back and start again observing the breaths. Be with your breath. Continue with your breath. That will be job in our meditation for 20 minutes. Very few minutes, but it will be very impactful for our peace, for our happiness, for our better decision. Observe peacefully, calmly, patiently, happily, with smiling face. slowly open your eyes. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to Buddha, Lord. Homage to Triple Gem. Homage to Bharabante, Guru Bhante Bhikshu. Metta to Anagarika Samnira, Upasakas, Upasikas. Very good evening to everyone who are present here for this Sunday evening Dhamma program. Every Sunday we gather here to do puja, meditation, and to listen to some Dhamma. So some of you are quite regular, some of you may be new, but this is something that is helpful for everyone, whether you are a regular or not so regular. It's really good. So today I would like to share a story from Dhammapada. Dhammapada is a book of 423 gathas, verses, and it is one of the most popular book in Buddhist world. It sort of summarizes the entire Buddhist scripture, because all the verses, gathas here, are taken from across the Tripitaka, the Buddhist scripture. In many suttas, Buddha summarizes his teaching in the form of a gatha, of a verses, of a verse, a small sloka, right? 4-line, mostly 4-line and sometimes a little more, but most of the verses are 4 lines. He summarizes. And these slokas are called gathas. So that is the reason it gives you a summary of the entire teaching of Buddha. Today I would like to share the first story in this book, and behind every gathas, every verse, there is a story. And these stories are very important here. It is the background story which is at the backdrop of these slokas. So Buddha did not just randomly spoke these verses, but he spoke after certain story, an event, an incident that happened in his own time. So the first story is about a monk by the name Cakkhupala. His name was Cakkhupala. Chakku is eye, Chakshu. Pala is protector. His name is the protector of the eye. But unfortunately, he was blind. Right? He was a monk and he was blind. But even though he was blind, he was still an enlightened monk. He achieved the enlightenment, the full wisdom he achieved. And the blind happened after he became an enlightened monk. You see, that is fortunate, because had it been before his enlightenment, it would have been an obstacle for his enlightenment, for his liberation, for his wisdom, realization of wisdom. So he was enlightened and he was in Jetavana monastery, the most popular monastery. And he was walking, he was doing a lot of this walking meditation. And one morning, some monks, they found that many insects were killed, were harmed, where Cakkhupala Bhante was walking, doing walking meditation. You see, there is a meditation called walking meditation, where you walk to and fro and you develop mindfulness, right? You focus on the walking itself by feeling the sensation of your walk, your touch of your feet at the bottom of your feet. You can feel the touch. So you focus on the touch of your feet. Just like in sitting meditation, we generally focus on the breath. Our object, our focal point is the breath. In the same way, while walking, we focus on the touch of the sensation of the touch of your feet against the ground, right? And you do that to and fro, and at the same time, you don't look around, right? You are pretty much focused on the ground, your eyes, and your primary focus is on the touch of your feet. So that's a meditation, that's a walking meditation. And it has a lot of benefit, as Buddha mentioned in one of the sutra, Chankamana Sutta. It's called Chankamana. In Pali, it is called Chankamana. Buddha said it helps us in getting concentration, deeper concentration, and a concentration that would last longer, right? If you gain concentration out of walking meditation, then that concentration becomes more long-lasting, right? Like in the sense, even after you are no more walking meditation, you are no more doing walking meditation, but the concentration which you have gained through that walking meditation would last for longer time as compared to the sitting meditation, right? So it's a very powerful meditation, and Buddha also says like it helps us in your digestion, right? Your digestive system becomes better, and it helps us to be much more fit for traveling. That's what Buddha said. So you will have a pleasant travel, right? You won't have much problem while traveling if you are a regular walking meditation practitioner. If you're practicing walking meditation quite regularly, right? Like that, Buddha mentioned many benefits. So it's one of the meditations. So if you're someone who generally doesn't like to do sitting meditation or finds it difficult in sitting meditation, you can as well try walking meditation, right? So I think many people are not aware this walking meditation. Sitting meditation, many people are aware, but not. Please take seat. It's one of the very important meditation. And Buddha used to start his day with a walking meditation, right? Early morning, he used to wake up and do this walking meditation, right? So it's really helpful for us to do this meditation. And I think some of you who are desk job holder, right? Who does desk job, and especially if you are working from home on your desk, maybe after every 1 or 2 hours, you can do a 15-minute walking meditation. It will help you in concentration as well as helps you in your health as well. You know, it really makes a difference in your work performance, in your health, and in your mindfulness also, in your mental, what you call the mental health or mindfulness or concentration. It really helps. So it's a very important meditation, Chankamana. So this monk, Cakkhupala, this Bhante, he was doing this walking meditation, and morning some monks saw that many insects were killed, you know, and these monks, they went to Buddha and said that Cakkhupala Bhante has killed many insects. You know, he killed many insects. And then Buddha said, did you all see he killing the insect? So they said, we didn't see. You know, so Buddha said, if you have not seen, then why do you say he killed? You shouldn't say he killed. And there is a reason for why the Buddha asked this question, right? That is, did you see, right? Did you see that he personally stepped on those insects? You know, that was the question which Buddha put. And the reason the Buddha put is that the Buddha said that just like you don't know whether Cakkhupala Bhante actually stepped on those insects or not, you are not sure, and in fact you have not seen personally. In the same way, Cakkhupala Bhante, being a blind monk, right? He was blind. He had no eye. I mean, he can't see. So because he cannot see the insect, and even though it is true that he stepped on those insects, it is true. It's an action of actually killing. Some insects were killed actually, but But since Cakkhupala did not see those insects, it is not a bad karma. It is not a akushala karma, that is unwholesome karma. It is not unwholesome karma, unhealthy karma, because he has not seen. And therefore Buddha says that Chetana hang bhikkhave kammang vadami. Buddha said that Chetana ahang bhikkhave kammang vadami. Chetana means the intention. So Buddha says intentional action is actually a kamma. Because when we talk about kamma, it is intentional action. Otherwise, it is just kriya. It is just kriya. There is a difference between kriya and kamma, right? Kriya is an action, or you can say, in English you can say a function. It's just a function, right? But when we talk about action, kamma, it has a technical implication. It has a technical meaning. It is very particular definition, which is that kamma has a result, what we call the vipaka. Vipaka means the result. Whereas kriya doesn't have any result, any vipaka. So in the case of this monk, Cakkhupala Bhante, who actually killed those insects, but he didn't have intention to kill, because he didn't even know those insects were there. He didn't know, because, as you know, insects are so tiny that you can't even feel it. And had it been a bigger animal, of course, you would know. But he didn't have any intention. So any action that we do out of intention, it is a kamma, a karma. But any action which we do without any intention, if you don't know, then it is no more. Even if you say, sometime, let's say, you accidentally hit somebody, right? You didn't have intention, just accidentally hit somebody, even kill somebody. It is no karma. Because sometimes people go into guilt, they go into remorse or guilt when they accidentally do something, right? When they into that, and then they think that, oh, I'm responsible for this action, and they suffer, and that is a very kind of a sad situation, because number one, you have not done any bad, but number two, you are actually having this remorse for no reason, right? And the reason being ignorant. So you're not aware that unintentional karma, unintentional act is not action. Unintentional act is not action. That is kamma. So you don't need to actually think wrong about that. You don't need to think. So this is the story of this monk. And then those monks were curious, because Buddha declared Cakkhupala Bhante to be an enlightened monk, arahant, right? And of course, he was actually enlightened. But as I told you, as I said in the beginning, that he became blind after he became enlightened, right? So the monks were curious, like he was not blind before enlightenment, and after enlightenment he becomes blind. Why? Enlightenment is a big thing, and why he suddenly became blind? That too, being an enlightened monk, right after he became an enlightened monk. Then the Buddha said that it is due to his one of the past karma, one of the past karma, which he did when he was a doctor, right? He was a doctor, and one young woman, along with his child, came to this doctor for the treatment of her eyes. She was almost blind. I think she could hardly see. Maybe a little bit she could see, but she couldn't see properly. And she comes to the doctor and requested the doctor, saying, please treat my eyes. I can't see. And at the same time, I am poor. She was very poor, very, very poor. So she couldn't afford the fees for the treatment, right? So then she offered to the doctor, saying that if you treat my eyes, I will become your lifelong servant. Those days there used to be this bound servant, in India also, and of course we know about Africa, but in India too, there was this concept of this practice of bound servant. So I will be your lifelong servant, like a free servant, like for the whole life. The doctor said, that's fine, a good deal. I can treat your eyes. So he treated her well, and her eyes were improving. Gradually, slowly, it was improving, and she could see it, right? But then she thought eventually that, I have to be his servant for whole life. That's not a good thing. That's not a good life, to be a servant of somebody for whole life. So why not I deceive? Why not I tell lie that I can't see? So when the doctor asked, "Can you see? Are you becoming better?" Then of course she said, "No, I can't see. In fact, it is becoming much more worse. I can't see it." But the doctor knew, right? Doctor knew that she's lying, right? She's telling lie. So then the doctor thought, doctor became very angry. The doctor felt deceived. He became very, very, very ferocious. But then doctor thought, let me teach her a lesson. Let me take revenge for the deception. For this thing. And that's something that happens to many people, right? When they feel deceived, they really become angry, really ferocious. How can they do this to me? How can he or she do this to me, right? So you become angry, you become irritated, you become angry, ferocious, and then you really want to do something. You want to take revenge, as if revenge will be your good, as if you will get something out of the revenge. That's what we think. The very concept of revenge is that things will be equal, justice and all. So that's something very wrong. And the doctor just said that, okay, I get it. I will change the medicine, because I think this medicine is not working for you. I think you would require another medicine. So I'll change your medicine. Then the woman thought, okay, let's see, maybe he will give a better medicine that will make my treatment faster. Here, the woman was happy. And the doctor, instead of giving a better medicine, he gave a very poisonous medicine, that would eventually make her blind. And he just did that. He gave her that medicine, and it just made her blind. She became completely blind. Earlier she could see a little bit, but now she just can't see anything. She just became completely blind, you know. And it was a blindness that cannot be recovered, right? It was a lifelong blind. Now that no medicine can treat her. It was for permanent, at least for that life, right? So it was a very tragic kind of action, as you can imagine, that just because somebody kind of deceived you, you cannot literally take somebody's life, right? You can do something else, but you can't take somebody's eyes for life. And this was a very bad karma, you know, it was a very bad karma. But the good thing after this was that this doctor realized his mistake, right? He kind of accepted his mistake internally, right? He understood, and he sort of realized, and he sort of felt guilty about it, you know, that yes, I really did a thing and wrong thing, I shouldn't do wrong. And he realized it, and then later, of course, I'm sure he would have helped many people for free as well. Like, you know, not only apart from his commercial activity, he would have done service activity as well, like a free service or charitable activity also he would have done. And as a result, he became better and better in terms of his spiritual practice, you know. And therefore, in this life, he was a monk, right? The same doctor, he became a monk in the dispensation of Buddha, you know, Lord Buddha, and he becomes an enlightened monk. But right after becoming an enlightened monk, he becomes blind. So even after you become enlightened, some of the past karma still gives you a result. You know, they come to you. But the difference between us and an enlightened individual experiencing the karma is that those enlightened people, it doesn't affect them, right? It doesn't bother them. You know, even though he is blind, it doesn't just bother him because he is enlightened. His mind is totally free from any kinds of disliking, any kinds of irritability, any kinds of, unpleasant sort of emotions. You know, he is totally beyond that, you know. But since he holds this, physical body, right? As long as he holds this physical body, he would have to go through the physical nature of the body, like eating, sleeping, and experiencing some of the karmic result to the body, but the mind is unaffected. You know, the mind is just beyond any kinds of karmic influence, but the body still gets the karmic influence. But in the case of us, unenlightened people like us, Anariya, for us, it affects. You know, if something happens to the body, it affects our mind, right? There is some pain in the body, our mind gets multiple time more pain than the body, right? So we have one pain in the body, but the pain in the mind is 10 times, 20 times more, depending on how your mind is, depending on the level of your training of the mind, right? So it becomes, in some people case, 10 times, some people 20, 50, 100, even 1,000. Some people more, and that's how they even go into some deep mental depression. But in the case of enlightened people, it doesn't affect them at all, right? It is just a physical thing that they go through. As long as the body is there, and once they leave their body, then they are no more reborn. They are no more reborn. For us, it affects, and then once we are dead, we are again reborn because we still are not enlightened. So that's the difference between these two. But you can see that even after becoming enlightened, he still got blind. As a result of that, maybe he can't help other much. For himself, he has nothing to achieve, but he can't help much others to achieve, right? Because of his being blind, maybe he can't travel so easily, right, on his own. So that's one of the thing that he has. So the Buddha tells this story, and then he says this gatha, Mano pubbang gama dhamma, mano settha, mano maya, manasache paduttena, bhasati va karoti va, tato nang dukkhamanveti, chakkang va vahato padang. The translation is, mind is the forerunner of all states. Mind is chief. Mind-mate are they. If one speaks or acts with wicked mind, unwholesome mind, because of that, suffering follows one, even as the will follows the hoof of the draught ox. So Buddha is saying that Mano pubbang, Mano pubbang gama dhamma. Here dhamma means everything, things, the things in the world, what we call the phenomena, the things, the phenomena, everything that exists in the world, both internally, externally, and any kinds of thing, right? Mano pubbang gama dhamma. Mind is the one who is ahead of everything, who is ahead of everything that exists in the world. First, it is in the mind. First, it starts in the mind. Everything first starts in the mind. Every experience first starts in the mind. Every thought first starts in the mind. So you can say the first thing is the mind. So that's why Buddha also sometimes says, chittena niyati loko. The world is led by the mind. You can say the world is created by the mind. Everything is created by the mind. The mind is your creator. The mind is your destroyer. The mind is everything, Mano. So this is important because we generally speak about what is the cause, what is the reason, what is the first one, why it is happening, how it is happening, where it is happening, who is making it, who is responsible, right? We all look for all of these things in our world, in our own experience, in our own day-to-day life. So here you can see that mind is the one who is the first one, who is the doer, creator, maker, constructor, who is the first one. So that's what the first sloka, first line the Buddha says. Mano settha, mano maya. Mano settha, the mind is the shrestha, is the chief. Chief is the mind. The greatest thing is your mind, right? So if you want to look for the greatest thing in your life, it is your mind. Your mind is the greatest thing. Mano maya, it is created. Maya means created. It is created by the mind. Mind is the chief, and everything is created by the mind. And whose mind? Your own mind. Nobody's mind. Now here you should not think that there is some other mind which is controlling my mind, which is bigger to my mind. No, your own mind that is with you all the time, right? And again, you don't need to find that mind somewhere else. It is just within you, right? All the time, in fact. Then Buddha said, now, manasacha paduttena, if with a unwholesome mind, a wrong mind, padushta mind, padushta. Padutta means padrushta, like a drusht, like a unwholesome, polluted mind. Manasacha paduttena, with a polluted mind. So now what is the polluted mind? In this story, you can say anger. Anger, hatred, jealousy, irritability, but more specifically in this context, it is the anger. That is the pollution of the mind. Right? You don't want pollution out in the world, right? You see on the roadside a lot of ditch that are put there, a lot of pollutions are there. We talk about air pollution, water pollution, land pollution, right? But that's something you don't want. So anger is much more bigger pollution than the air pollution and the water pollution and the land pollution. All the global heat pollution, which is the global temperature rising, So anger is a pollution. So we must understand that anger is a pollution, right? If you generate anger, then like this monk who did a great mistake of taking somebody's eyes, you can do it, because if we don't have control on our anger, we can do anything, right? We can do anything. These days we hear stories, right? If you check the news, always there is a case of murder, this, that, all this revenge and all of these things. You check the news, you get that. Whether it is politically or socially or communally or individually, right? There is anger all over the place, right? Whether it is national or regional or communal or religious or individual, you just see anger. And because of anger, there is a killing, hitting, murdering, war, all kinds of things that are happening and in the world, right? So it is because of anger. It is just because of anger. And this anger is justified. How it is justified? Oh, because someone else did this to me, then why shouldn't I be angry? Why shouldn't I do something? Right? So there is a justification of anger happening. So anger is anger. You just can't justify. If you justify anger, then you will be in trouble. You are creating bad karma. You are actually accumulating bad karma into your account. You are doing that. Not only in terms of speech and action, but even at the thought level. If you keep anger, even at the level of thought, that is also not healthy. That is also not a very healthy one. Forget about speaking and acting. Even at the level in the mind, if you think with the angry mind, with a hatred mind, it is not at all healthy. So that's why Buddha calls it padushta, that is pradushta, that is unwholesome, pollution of the mind. Anger is a pollution of the mind. So manasa sache, that is if, bhasati va karoti va, if you are bhasati, if you are speaking, or karoti, if you are doing, if you do something or act something out of wrong mind, in this case, angry mind, tatonang dukkhaman veti chakkang va vahato padang, then sufferings follows you, right? It follows you all the time,
Chakkangwa vahato badang. Just like a wheel of the ox, a wheel of a you can say of a ox. In the olden days there was ox and wheel, right? So the wheel always follows the ox. It always follows ox or the animal, right? So it is like that, which means it is when the ox pulls the wheel, it is not pleasant. It is heavy. It is heavy and it is not good. People are there, but people use it. But for the ox, it is not pleasant. It is quite a tough one. It is quite a heavy one. It is very tiresome, very heavy, and very unpleasant, right? To pull. In those days, you remember, the roads were not like today with all the topping. It was a kind of a raw kind of a road. So in some cases there will be some pits, some stones, and then to pull that it is very heavy. So also Buddha is saying that if you are having this unhealthy mind, if you speak and act and think, speaks and act with an unhealthy mind, in this case anger, then you are actually creating a karma which comes with you all the time, just like this wheel comes with the ox, right? If the ox doesn't have the wheel, then it can freely go. But if there is this wheel, it is very burdensome. It is very heavy, right? So in the same way, we just moving without anger, hatred, we are free. We are just free, just like a free ox. But if we are generating anger in the mind and speaking also with an angry mind and also doing something, hitting or killing or harming with an angry mind, then it's like we are actually creating a will for ourselves. We are actually creating that burden for ourselves. So it's a big burden, right? And some people keeps that kind of angry, that kind of a feeling whole life, whole life. Oh, that fellow did this to me, so I don't forgive. I don't speak to that person. I don't speak. And whenever you talk about that person, again there is anger coming out again and again. When you think about that person, you are angry. When you hear something about that person, you are angry. If somebody is speaking good about that person, praising that person, you are angry, right? And right, so it's always angry all the time. Whenever you are here, and suppose when you are dying, if you remember that person, you will have a miserable death also. Till your death, it follows you. It never leaves you, right? So therefore, angry. You see, in this case, the story with the angry, he just spoiled that woman's eyes, both the eyes for whole life because of anger. And what he got, he became blind in this life. Immediately he didn't become blind, but in this life, after a long time. But fortunately, he realized, and then of course he became enlightened. But what about us? We don't know when we are going to become enlightened. And until we become enlightened, we are going to have many lives. We are going to have unending, infinite lives. It is only when we are fully enlightened that we are free from lives, re-life, rebirth, again and again life. So it is not at all wise It is not at all good. It is not at all worthy for us to keep anger in our heart, because if that anger is there inside, it might sometime comes up in a very strong way, like a gushing water, right? It just comes, and then you might do something really, really serious, right? You might just harm somebody very badly. In fact, you might even harm yourself as well in a very bad way. Some people even do that. They harm themselves as well with anger. And then what do? You are creating a bad karma. When you harm yourself, that also a bad karma. You don't think that if you harm others, that is a bad karma. No. If you are harming yourself, that is also a bad karma, because you are also a being, a sentient being. You are also a feeling. So this bad karma is very, 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 very wrong, because in one of your lives in the future, it might just come, because the karma has certain timing. It has, since we have so many karma, the karma also needs some time to to kind of adjust its landing, right? So, we had many, many lives in the past, and we will have many lives in the future. So, so many karma. So, today what karma would we do? It won't immediately come, right? Of course, as you do the karma, in the present also you get a big share of that karma by, say, in the form of suffering or happiness, right? You do a karma, good karma now, you feel good now itself, right? Things happen well, pleasant in the present also, right? And not only that, Buddha also says that if you are doing good thing now, there is a more likeliness of some of your past good karma to give result, right? So you also need to create a good ground for your past good karma to give result, right? It is very important, because if you don't do that, if you're creating a bad ground, unwholesome ground, then there is more likeliness for the bad karma to give result. So you see, if you create a good karma, there is many benefits, right? You become happy now, and then your past karma gets a place, gets a ground, gets an opportunity to give result, and of course you are creating a good in the future as well. So it's not just about the future, it's also about the present, and it's also about the past, right? Because the past karma also has to get the chance to give you a result, especially the good one. So it is everything in the present, right? When you are focusing in the present, doing good, you are ensuring your future, you are also getting the benefit of your stock of past good karma. So there are a lot of benefits in that, right? So this is the first story of Dhammapada chapter. So Dhammapada book. So I conclude here this story, and I hope all of you also take care of your own karma, and don't justify anger. If somebody did bad karma, somebody did bad to you, deceived you, you said it is their karma. You say it is his or her karma. That's also very important, right? You have to think it is his karma, it is her karma, it is not my karma. Even if they deceived you, they harmed you, they did whatever, just say, of course you have to protect yourself. There's nothing wrong in protecting, defending. You do that, but then don't hold grudge, don't have anger, don't have hatred, because that will spoil you, and you don't need to give you don't need to take revenge. You don't need to, give punishment. The karma will take care. Karma will take care. This is very important because it is, Buddha is saying that, right? Buddha being an enlightened master who has seen all his past life on the night of his enlightenment. He saw millions of his past life through his deep meditation. And he clearly saw how the karma is working, how the karma is functioning. Including in this story you can see. And in his own past life story, in the Jataka, if you read these Jataka stories, there Buddha also tells his own life. He even tells what are the bad karma he did, when he was not a Buddha. What are the bad karma he did, and those results, how he got some of those bad results. Because he was also doing both good and bad karma. It was not like he was only doing good. He was also doing bad when he was not enlightened. So he tells it out of his own personal experience, total experience, by actually looking at his past life through his deep samadhi. So he's not just telling theoretically, imaginatively. He's telling it out of his own personal experience and vision. Right? So therefore, we should never take revenge. We should never hold grudge to somebody. We just forget. Because if you forgive, you are free. Otherwise, you have to carry that anger all the time on your head, wherever you go. Right? And let's say you are going somewhere. Even if you don't see that person, if somebody is little similar to that person whom you hate, you will remember. Again, you will be angry. Right? So you will be unhappy. You are just, and you are creating bad karma. Whenever you are generating anger, you are creating a bad karma, the mental bad karma, right? And what is the result of mental bad karma? Depression or unhappiness. There is a mental unhappiness will be there. Say, for example, let's say you are angry, but you have not killed anybody or harmed somebody's eyes. But if you are just holding in the mind also, then it will give result to your mind itself, right? Which means you will not be happy in the mind as a result of that, in this life and also in the next life. So therefore, we should always try. Of course, we do become angry, because we are all not enlightened. That's okay. I mean, you don't need to think bad about yourself. Oh, I'm such a bad person. I'm getting angry. I'm such a bad. You don't need to consider that is also not good. We are unenlightened human, unenlightened being. So we do get angry. It is natural for us at this point because we are still not fully trained. But at the same time, just saying that, okay, it is natural, we cannot again just justify it, or we can just let it be like this, right? At this point, it is there, but we need to make an effort to gradually forgive, let go, and just think it is karma, and think about your future for your own karma. So please train yourself to gradually forgive everybody, forgive everyone with whom you have anger, hatred, jealousy, whatever. Just be free. Just be free, right? Just don't carry this with yourself, because it is not going to do any good to yourself and others and nobody, right? It is just going to create more and more wrong. So therefore, we should have a anger-free mind and anger-free speech and anger-free action. Then it becomes a good karma, right? So with this, I conclude. I wish all of you good health, peace of mind, and happiness. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you very much, Banteji, for your Dhamma Desana, wonderful Dhamma Desana. Bante has given Dhamma on Dhammapada, first Gata, that is about on mind. Mind is the chief, and mind is for everything. So whatever we speak, whatever we act, whatever we think, with bad, so its suffering follows like wheels of ox. So that's why we always aware that whatever we speak, think, or act, we must be aware that, oh, this is the bad, and suffer will follow me, and this is good. That's also happiness will follow you. So having understood, please aware and act accordingly. So with this, this is the summary to this Dhammadasana. So we will share our merits. We have accumulated lots of punya karma today. So we will share all living beings. Sukhi bhave yang ni dukho ahang nicham heta cha me sukhi honto majata chataverino imam ketang hi sata honto sukhi sada tato paranchara jesu Cakkhupala sujantano sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, we will bless all of you for your peace, happiness, and progress on your life. Bhavato sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Bhavato sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Bhavato sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Abhivadana silesa niccang uddhapacaino cattaro dhamma vadanti ayuvanno sukhang balanti. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Siddharth, you please come here from there. No, upar rakho, upar.